Okay, see where we are now. We finished sewing the blouse. This is the blouse. We finished sewing the blouse, you know. So the next thing to do now, see the neck of my blouse finished. And then you will ask that what happens if you don't have an image to place it on. You can use a pillow and sort of fill it in. What happens is you need it to come out the shape that is supposed to be on the person before you start placing the design. So see how my design is. It's actually very big. I can choose to put this way if I want. You know, I can choose to do this if I want, but I like this is giving me more this is giving me more coverage. You know, we actually have some that are prepared. You have the front neck design, you have the back neck design. You just trim out and play. That one is actually a lot easier, but that's not what we have here now. You know, so I'm going to just place it, and then after placing I'm going to cut. The thing is, if I cut this, I don't have any issue with this, but if I cut this, it's going to more is going to drop from it, because this is actually strung together. So it's a single string that's holding all of this. So if I cut it, I'm going to have a lot of beads falling off. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to use candle gum. I'm going to use it to sort of drop here, drop here, to sort of seal my end in before I cut. Let me do, and then I'll show you. Okay, I'm actually using glue gun here now. You have to be careful with this because this can actually burn you. So this is where I'm going to cut. So I'm dropping here so that it sort of seals. If you have the glue gun, you can actually use that too. You know, I used to use that, but the last ones I bought, lots of issues. So after you've dropped at the end, you now cut. I'm cutting about where I dropped now. So what that is doing is that it's actually sort of holding it for me from falling off. As I cut now, I have look at it. I held, this is actually held in place. I'm doing the same thing at this other side too, making sure it's well placed, and then I cut. Now after cutting, I'm now going to glue all this down. Now using this candle, what happens to, why am I using this candle? I'm using this candle to sort of hold it in place. So I'm just sort of, it's like tacking it in place. You notice I actually touch this on the body, on the main body, not on the design, because the design, it might just burn it through because this is hot. So I'm going to just touch it through, you know, touch it through. I'm doing the same thing in all of this, using my glue, gun, my candle gum to touch it. So I lift up, I touch, I close it. Now, because this is on the image, like it's on the human body, I'm actually getting the shape that I want. But you notice here how this is going to have to go like this. So this is like having a dart there. So that this part that I want to fold, this part that I think should have a fold, I'm going to just put my glue here and then fold it down this way. After I've done all this, now I'm going to now use my needle and thread and tack all this down. So having glued my middle, the part that I actually need to tack, it's actually the edges. I don't if my edges are sealed, I'm actually good. Then I'm going to do the same thing this way, the same thing this way. Now this is the neck parts, this neck part of my blouse. I'm allowing my gun, if it gets into the fire, it actually becomes black. You have to be very careful, especially when you're using fabric that anything would show through. So see where I am now. Now I'm going to now do and cut this other part, and then we'll look at the back. Okay, see where we are now. I having done the front like we did, this is what I have left. You know, I've done this kind of blouses before, but I've not noticed not having enough like this. So what I have here is that I don't have enough. This is my sleeve that I wanted. This is the base of my sleeve. You know, since it's off shoulder, I did my sleeve, I offed, and then I've prepared it. So I'm supposed to now use it to cut out. You know, but if I cut this out now, I don't have enough left for my back. You know, this is what I would have had left, which is small. You know, part of the beauty of this kind of blouse is that when she turns her back, it's full and beautiful and all that. So because of this, this is what I did now. I now sort of did a fold on my sleeve. Now the fold now is able to allow me save more. You know, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut through my beads now. Now in cutting, if I cut through it, it will automatically start falling off. So, and then I can't use that gum because it's sort of thick. I can't use it to sort of seal it. So, but I'm going to use candle. And as you're working with candle and that gum, you have to be careful. If that gum touches your skin, it's so painful. You know, it's not something you should experience. So what I'm going to do now, I'm using my candle wax to seal through where I'm going to cut. So the edge of my sleeve is my guide. You know, so I'm just going through it, making sure I hit all the ends. I'm turning my candle to allow me so I'm here now. I'm going to be cutting hair too at this point, so I'm sealing it too. I'm going to be cutting hair, and then I'm going to be cutting hair. So I'm just doing my seal, and then I'm coming this way. You know, having done that, what I'm going to do now is to cut. So as I cut, you notice I don't have beads flying all over the place, you know. Though I still have a little bit coming out, but it's not as much as at the end of the day. My scissors, I'm going to just clean it, you know. So this is what I have now. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, you know, and then this is what we have that came out of this. Now I'll do the other one. We'll now use this plus these pieces we have to sort of arrange it at the back of our blouse. Okay, see, these are my sleeves. So I have my sleeves cut out now, and I'm going to just keep them aside. I'm noticing something. Listen now. This is slightly more than this. I have to trim to make sure they're exactly the same. Then these are the pieces that I have left from my trim. This is what we're going to use for the back of our blouse now. And then I think I want to place it this way. As I play this way, see how it goes. It comes this way to display. That means I'm going to have to cut through here. I'm going to do my candle drop here and cut through. Then I'm doing the same thing this other way too. Do my candle drop and cut. So after cutting the remaining piece, I'll use it to fill this other side. The thing is, and when you're doing this kind of blouse, you have to be careful to look at the neck. The neck that the design of the cloth came with, what will work and what won't work. It's not every neck that you can actually do with this, because this has already been designed for you. So you have to use it with how it will work. So as the customer comes and they are choosing neck that are sort of off, you look at the design of the cloth and make sure that they choose what is as close to what was done here as possible. So I'm going to just trim like this, and I'm placing like this and just trim. So see what I have now. Then this is what came off. Now because as this came off, this actually has I have to see how I'm going to place it into this now. So I'm going this way now, because look what I'm able to do now. I'm sort of entering here. I'm sort of trimming to add to this. I'm just taking off a little from this. So I have a finish here now. I have an edge here to just help me in my finishing, you know. So having done, I have a little bit I'm going to fill up there. Then this is like this too. This I don't have a full one to actually work it. This is actually in pieces. So what I did, I placed this shape here. I don't have this shape, so I placed this, and I'm placing this here. I'm touching my I'm putting my candle go. I'm putting this like this to hold it. Just touch a little bit there. Now you would have noticed that I have a place that's opening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of shift it inwards like this. So I'm actually touching my glue there and shifting it to match this, because I can't have unmatched edges that isn't that is not finished. I mean, then look at here. I have a point there that I actually glued. So I'm going to sort of touch this here. When you are working with something like this, you're creative as you go. So that is where I'm actually ending here, and then I'm going to cut here now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to now start tacking. In tacking, I'm going to go like this first, pulling these two together. You know, pulling these two together. The thing is in finishing that, you get to make it look a certain way. You know, as much as possible, you do your finishing where there's bright light so that you can see. Anywhere that isn't very good, you look at it. I've tightened my threads, so, and I'm actually going now. So I'm picking the edges, the two edges of this together now. I'm picking it together and sort of sealing it to become one. As I go, I'm going to now take pieces from the beads that I have dropping. So I'm going to sort of place beads as I go. So I'm taking from here, I'm taking from here, taking from here, taking from here, taking from here, and bringing the two together. Now, you will notice that the thread I'm using, it's exactly the color. So I'm going to sort of pull some of this, pull them so that I can now use it to sort of tack back. Like I said, like I've said before, I think I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it. This type of blouse with the ones that are prepared, this is more work than prepared, because this you're going to have to be cutting, you're going to have to be designing and all that. The prepared one is already prepared. You just trim and fix to it. So this is going to take you more time. It's going to take you more creativity and all that, you know. And what we're talking about here, the owners of the cloth don't understand. The person that has bought this and brought does not understand what I have to go through to make it ready. So I'm going to just keep tacking, keep tacking and pulling it together. I'm noticing that even the places that I have not I didn't add bead to because of the fact that this is the design is actually sort of dense. It's coming together. And another thing that I noticed here, that because I've done this before, is in using candle to stop it, you actually sort of I actually sort of stop this from falling off. If not, what happens is that you end up having beads that are falling off as you tack. And then if you finish, you have ends that are falling off. You now still use your candle to drop on them to seal it, because the only thing that's going to get candle is actually made from wax. So you use, when you want to seal anything, you use wax to seal it. So the wax in the candle is going to seal it. Nobody, of course, is going to iron this. It's only heat that will take this candle wax out. So you sort of tack. As I'm tacking, see how it is looking like. You notice as I'm taking it, I'm sort of pulling it together, and then I'm going to tighten as you go, you tighten. As you go, you tighten, because you don't want one thread to break and everything it's gone. So it's we've tacked, you know, tack it. So even if you sort of it's sort of lifted up, it's completely down, everything is tacked down. Then this is the side, this side. Now I left this open. It's after the sleeve is fixed that we now get to now use this to sort of tack this particular part down. And then the little space we have left, if we want to, we'll use the pieces that we have to sort of seal it. So what I have left here, I have this back part here left. I'm just going to show how I did my tacking. What I do, so see, I already started. What I do is I actually take it from here to there. This is actually the best stitch for this, because if you finish this, all these parts are single. So you go from here, you take this way, and you make sure that after 1, 2, 3 times or 4 times, you tighten it so that one thread does not cut and everything loses up on you. So I'm going to just tack like that till I'm done tacking. Then after that, I'm going to sort of fill these places a bit, you know, to make it look more natural. I'll use the loose bits to fill it up. After that, I'll tack, I'll fix the sleeve, and then I'll show you what it looks like.